they do even no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman pikin dey the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, my people make you shout. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, Mayegun the command of the masses. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, Mayegun diary politics.
Hello there.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun ti dé ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Lórí Facebook.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Mayegun Live.
Àṣírí ọ̀dẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Thank you so much for joining me. It is our Sunday sermon on Mayegun's Diary Politico. Sunday sermon on Mayegun's Diary Politico is a no-holds-bar session. It is a place where if you are a politically correct person, you shouldn't watch this because things can actually escalate very fast. This is where, we are allowed to speak freely how you really feel about things, how I feel about things happening there. You can call it ranting, doesn't really matter. But do not feel offended or by any means think you will be needed or your advice will be needed. It could go to, it is a segment where anybody and anyone and anything can be touched as much as they are concerned, okay? So thank you so much for joining me. Share the broadcast. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. All you have to tell them is that Mayegun today. The state of Nigeria is what we want to talk about today. If you have your bias or your prejudices or biases, this will be the moment you are likely not going to be able to hide it. You know, some of you are like a closet bigots, religious fanatics, extremists, but are not really bold to speak publicly because of the shame associated with whatever you think you believe in. And you have been pretending. On Sunday sermon on Mayegun's Diary Politico, I may be striking a chord in you that can throw you into rage because you have been a pretender. But if anything I say today by any means offends you, it simply means you have been a pretender all along. If whatever I say today makes you understand Nigeria better, then possibly, we are winning. And I know we are. You just share the broadcast. Over 800 people have been kidnapped in Nigeria in 1 week. And it seems everybody, like I used to say, they are minding their business. Today. So, good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is a Sunday sermon on Mayegun's Diary Politico, and thank you for joining me. I want to use this moment, especially all of you everyone that is here today. I want to use this moment to call for individual sober reflection. Think about things that as Nigeria is what it is today. Think about your actions and inactions, what you have enabled that have now festered to this stage, putting all of us and our lives, our future in jeopardy, in serious danger. APC, Egbekegbe, represents evil, poverty, division, and totally like a death, genocide, ethnic cleansing, religious, extremism, all of this enabled by a corrupt system that has no real identity. So, today in Nigeria, everything has gone to dust, but they are pretending to be holding it together. There are those who believe that maybe something can still happen or be done. And we keep reminding you, nothing will be done. Or, number one, nothing is being done. Nothing will be done than further ruin and destruction. If you don't stop these criminals, if you don't stop them, they will kill all of us. But before they succeed, they will bleed too. How? By reducing the dependency, the ignorance of a lot of you, who even despite what is going on in Nigeria today, you are still making yourselves tribal champions, ethnic champions, those who are promoting different prejudices against yourselves. But your leaders, they feast. So I saw the funeral of that Access Bank MD that died, Wigwe, and all of the accolades. You know, when you look at the ordinary Nigerians who are pretty much like customers of his bank or who have done businesses with his bank and all of that. And then the story of his rise and all of ruggedity and all that sort of resonate with some Nigerians who are dreamers, right? Who dreams that maybe one day they will be like him, right? However, his real friends, his true friends, they came together, right? They came together to, when they were crying about their losses. They were talking about their money. They are talking about the wealth that they have been able to sort of, exchange among themselves. What do you call it? The disgraced emir of Kano then, Sanusi, in fact, came out and said, in fact, he actually cried. He cried because he said he made the guy his children, I mean, the sort of the estate manager or something for his children's trust fund. However, some didn't miss the chance of playing politics there too. Okay, so we're going to touch that this afternoon or morning, whatever the time is at yours, right? So, but I saw them celebrating or mourning what is pretty much like the Commonwealth, your Commonwealth, how your money, those who were stealing your money and those who were laundering the money for them, the banks. So this was the time that they were able to kind of, they felt so bad that the guy died in his prime. He could still have done so much more. But to them, the loss is not to those of you who probably dream to become like him, which will likely never happen. All right, to 99.9% of you, by the way. However, the loss is not to you, the loss is to them. Those his friends he has helped in his career, which is for them, but the assemblage of thieves, squanderers, plunderers, and all that should tell you enough picture of what Nigeria is. Then you look at the other side, which is where you have the multitude of their victims. It's like seeing the economic saboteurs, okay? Political criminals, economic saboteurs, and them coming together in a single place, right? And then on the other side, you see the army of their victims, the Nigerians, right? So in that space, it was even more louder. Okay, the death of the tragedy of that man's death and his family, right, was so loud. Okay, to also tell you the significance of the haves to the insignificance of the have-nots. Omo, when people die, when they kill people in Nigeria, okay, most of it is just going to be numbers. For example, you have been hearing school kidnapping, mass kidnappings. Only a single one happened under Goodluck Egbere Jonathan, and the entire world, the entire country, everyone ran, like, gone so crazy. It was a mad moment. Then under APC, Egbekegbe, 18 to 19 school kidnappings took place. Under this Tifnumbu, there has been about 4 different school kidnappings that have taken place, under Tifnumbu. But they are mostly insignificant people that do not make most of you even cry. But I know a lot of you who have put up social media posts explaining things in your own imagination, where imagination won't finish you, describing the loss of Wigwe and his family to Nigeria. Do you now see the difference? Unfortunately, the picture in Nigeria today is so clear. The desperation, the depression, and every other thing that people have to deal with are so pronounced. They are so evident on everyone's faces. And the nonchalant attitude of the elite of Nigeria, they are also more pronounced. That is why when one of them dies, they pretty much equals to maybe 10,000 of us. I am not trying to downplay the tragedy of that man's death, though. But listen to me. I am now pointing at the assemblage, the eulogy, the importance that they placed on the death of the man, his wife, and his son. Tragedy, of course. Compared to that person who has no second name that is similar to the ones you know, among the 800 women and children that have been kidnapped now for the past 5 days. Tell me, in your own all honesty, tell me that you feel the same way when you heard the news of the crash of this Access Bank guy, and the reaction of your elite, your rich novels and all that. So the reaction, and your government too. So the reaction of your government to this recent one, I don't even want to go back to all of the tragedies in the past. Just this last 1 week. That is to tell you, you are nothing to these criminals. And if you are going to pick a battle, one of the foolish battles that you should never pick up is to think you really matter in fighting for one Nigeria. Look at all of them. I'm using this recent one because this is a tragedy. You will never hear that 800 women and children have been kidnapped in the United States of America. and they have been taken into the deserts of Utah. And American government, politicians, they are sad because one of them and his family died in a plane crash. And they managed to carry the entire country. Okay? Your entire media is flooded by messages of those who are sad, of those who are telling you the loss. This is to Nigeria, of how emotional they have dragged you into it. And how, subconsciously, in fact, consciously for so many of you, thinking, turning around to now say you are fighting for one Nigeria. And I ask, if you have a one Nigeria, who are those who will make that one Nigeria? Are those people being killed little by little, day by day? And you, that they have managed to become so numb to all of this, because somehow, something tells you this can never be your own fortune. It can never be your own fate. I bet some of these people today who are the victims now, they will say the same thing yesterday. So the point I'm trying to bring up here today is this. A lot of you are yet to kind of grasp the level of the generation that Nigeria has degenerated into. To the point that every time that you tell yourself that there is one Nigeria, but you do not tell yourself the bondage that you or those who have already fallen are in, and the responsibility of those who were supposed to prevent all of that. The moment you begin to kind of reason that, you see that nerve in you that is telling you that this is redeemable, they will begin to kick in the right senses in you that you are still living in delusion. Delulu. So fighting for one Nigeria is fighting for what is going to kill you. Whether you are Yoruba, Hausa, Fulani, Igbos, it doesn't really matter. It is like a place that is doomed and cursed with people that will make that destruction, generational ruin, possible. If they are not stopped, they won't stop. And if they don't stop, you and I, reason am. Somebody said, if the son of the president is among the people killed or kidnapped in Nigeria, that the terrorism will end immediately. Here is another delusion that some of you are believing in. You see, the danger that Nigeria is in is so beyond the hand of the rogues that brought you here, okay? That they themselves are in danger of what they have created. Or you see that greed, the lust for power, wealth, and all other worldly things that they use to rate themselves. They have blinded them that even they themselves are living in the danger they have created. But because they are blind by the greed and the lust of the office and all that, they do not mind to self-destruct. And that is why when they go down, or when Nigeria go down, it will take them with it. Nigeria will go down, not because I want it, not because you don't want it. It is simply because a lot of you are so enmeshed, you are so soaked, drowning in your different man-made bigotry that has blinded you enough that your prejudices towards one another is the fuel that is keeping these rogues going. And they are going nowhere than ruins. You can see it all. So everyone is on board. I am talking about the elite and their friends. We all agree. The role that religion has played on us so far has become so disastrous that we are also happy that a generation is emerging that will likely not follow the same man-made social conditioning that brought us here. So let me take 1, 2, 3 steps back a bit so that I can understand that you are following me. You see this broadcast you are watching right now, it is to help you, help me, okay, to understand that you see this Nigeria that you are seeing today and the trajectory of where it is going economically, security-wise, including the people in there, the government and the governed. The direction they are taking all of us is that of a perdition. What's that called? A total, decimation. And it is being done by those of you who are seeing evil and you are calling it good. You are seeing good. You are calling it evil. So you would need to understand what prejudice means in this regard and where you belong. Because you know what? The criminals, once again, if they are not stopped, they won't stop. Nigeria is sitting on a keg of gunpowder. There used to be a sealed one, but it is now opened. And we are just waiting for the spark. Some believe it's going to be a fire. Others believe it's just going to be a little spark that will turn to inferno. However, if you and me want to be honest with ourselves, this is a direct question now. See, calm down with your, ethnic association, your religious, connection, and every other thing that Nigeria has managed to give you or profile you and give you a sort of a combative identities, the one that has left all of you, all of us, in a combative mood, combative of supremacy. We are bigger than you. Our ancestors are bigger than your ancestors. Our ancestors, they wear clothes. You all know they wear clothes. Our ancestors, this and that. I want you to please put all of that down for now, okay? Just for a moment. Do you understand? And answer this question truthfully. Will you do that for me? Answer this truthfully. Okay. This is me asking you to drop your, I'm a Yoruba, I'm Igbo, I'm this or I am that for now. Drop them. And answer this. Do you think the people who are running Nigeria right now, all of the entire APC at the federal level, from Tifnumbu to Shitiman, from Gandola to Akpabioli, and the rest of all the people you are seeing right now running things in Nigeria, okay? Do you think Nigeria has a future? Be honest. If you say yes, that's okay. You probably will have a chance of telling us what you are saying. There are those who have told us that there is light after the tunnel. You know, when you are in the tunnel and you are digging the tunnel, at the end of the day, your tunnel is expected to come into the open. Then you will see the light. But the problem of Nigeria that we have seen is that we have sent people to the future. And I will explain that to you, okay? We have sent people to the future and they have seen the end of that tunnel. Ladies and gentlemen, these criminals, by the time you get to the end of the tunnel, they are telling you there is light. you will discover that they have even stolen the sunlight there. They've taken away all of the light. Because with what they are doing, a country that your rulers or your reigners are borrowing against future generations. Baba, you know, say me and you. Okay, let's put it this way. Now, you can put your own age now. This is why you should not let anybody threaten you or scare you with death. We're all going to die. Do you know that I am 40 years old? I will be lucky to live for another 40 years. I am not guaranteed that I will be here for another 40 years. Do you understand? Tifnumbu is 80 years old. There's no guarantee that Tifnumbu is going to be here for another 30 years. Bokwari is 85 years old. There is no chance that Bokwari is still going to be here in another 20 years. But you know what these guys have done? The future generation, your children, children, they have borrowed against their future. They will be born into poverty, into a country that continues to pay debts, service debt, not even with the ability to pay any debt. Nigeria has debt. They have debt that these guys have stolen of 100 years repayment. These guys have used the Nigerian future oil prospects just for peanuts. They sold Nigeria oil prospects for the next 25 years. They've borrowed against Nigeria oil prospects for the next 50 years, which simply means every crude oil that comes out of Nigeria, there is already somebody they've sold it to. And these are supposed to be the resources of the future, or the resources that they have to use today to build the future. It's gone. After 63 years, these guys have only been able, in a country of 200 million people, as they say, right? This criminal generation, these old rogues that are telling you that tomorrow you are the leaders of tomorrow. The country that cannot generate 10,000 megawatts of electricity, a country that needs over 100,000 megawatts of electricity to be able to run its own economy, empower our own people, create wealth. But they continue to work against that just for today's benefit, because they want to drive the best cars today, the latest aircraft, they want to buy it. They want to renovate houses with money that could build schools, fund and, recruit teachers, pay them well. You are watching them waste away all of this. So where do you think that one Nigeria future is going to just drop from? There is no light after that tunnel. They are lying to you. They told you that all you needed is to make sure you train your children, send them to school so that they will be able to fend for themselves and train their own children too, raise their own family too. But you are watching them now, all of you in your 40s, in your 30s, you have no idea what the life is going to be for you. You have no idea what the future is going to be. You have no plan of even having a family. And systematically, that is how they will finally destroy, lineages like that and turn them to future slaves. Their children are being groomed. They are not even raising their children that they use stolen money to send abroad. They are not training, they are not using their children for the development of Nigeria. Do you know how many of your politicians' children went to so many of these, international schools who schooled abroad? What did they learn from all those places their fathers sent them to? They stole money that could provide education for all of you, your children, in order to provide education for their own children abroad. Their children are supposed to come back with those training. They were supposed to be investments. They were supposed to come back as, people who plan countries, who build countries, who build economies. This was supposed to be the reward of what their parents stole your money to send them to go and do. But when they come back to Nigeria, they turn to their parent. They turn to their parent, and their parent turn to the system and create a further loopholes where their children will continue to scavenge, to eat free of you, adding no value, absolute no value, nothing. Have you ever thought of that? Eh? Which school Sheyi Tifnumbu went? What about Tifnumbu's children? All of Bokwari's children, especially Aisha's children, they schooled abroad. Abi? Atifku's children, Obasanjo's children, and so many of them like that. They schooled abroad. What did they bring back to Nigeria? What did they come back to create that you can say, if not for Obasanjo's daughter, Nigeria would have no healthcare system. Oh, if not for Buhari's son, Nigeria wouldn't have, resolved the issue of electricity. Oh, if it is not because of this so and so's daughter, the issue of reformed, reformed civil service. Oh man, do you know that these politicians, they have about 20 or 40 of their children in the Nigeria military, in the Nigeria Air Force, in the Nigeria Navy. They are there creating standard. When you go to Saudi Arabia, when you go to the Imperial China, they send their princes, they send their princesses, they send them to the Western world to go and bring something back. And when you go back to their countries today, you will see their children that study in Oxford in charge of the police. You will see children that studied in Harvard in charge of the business, what have you. You will see them there running their countries, contributing there. And their people they have something to show for it. How about all of your politicians? Okorocha and the rest of them, Benga Daniel, Amosun, all these guys send their children abroad, old and young. What did they come back to add to Nigeria? You that will fight and kill anybody because of Obaseki, or Oshiomole, or Akpabiole, or the rest of those that you love. I'm talking about your criminal leaders. I know you love your thieves differently. You love your oppressors differently. I am only asking you, what has been your gain from all of this? Because this is how it should have been. They shouldn't be coming back to use stolen money to buy power bikes, okay? To open businesses that they don't have intention of paying taxes and they do not have intention of succeeding in, because they can rely on free money. Why do they have to? Their children they are those who are filling up all the central bank, but yet there's no difference from the corruption that has always been there. So I'm asking you now, okay? At best, some of their children that refuse to come back to Nigeria, they are working like normal people abroad. Yes, they are. They are working like normal people abroad. They wake up every day, every morning, like every one of us. They go to their places of work and they are responsible. But when they come back to Nigeria, what exactly? Or even if you say your leaders they have you in mind, what is that having you in mind looking at all of these wastages? They exposed you. The world laugh at you. The doctors to your president, especially since Bokwari's time. In fact, it started from Yaradua, who nearly died in Germany. American presidents will not be attended to by anyone other than American surgeons or Americans, medical practitioners for the sake of national security. That's how you value something that you actually love. Here you get. They say, if you love something, you are going to protect it. Abi? See you. Your phone, some of you love your phone so much. Not because your phone is anything other than just a device, but your phone is so useful to you. Depends on what you use it for. Your mobile, your financial apps on your phone, your navigators on your phone, your social media apps on your phone, so many other apps there that are currently helping you to run your life. Therefore, your phone is so precious to you, and you will not let anybody steal it. You will not let anybody break it. You will charge it when it needs power. You will make sure that you are not overcharging it so that it doesn't go bad. You care for it. A device, just phone. Now let's take material things out. Because there are things that that actually love also defines. You love see people you love. See the people you love. The people that you are ready to bleed for. Your children, your parents, your loved one, your siblings, some of you, your friends, you love them. You will never want anything to happen to them. You will protect them with your life if you have to. That is what love is. You care for them. You think of them. Abi, that's what love is. You are responsible for them as they are responsible for you. There are criminals in charge of Nigeria who do not love Nigeria. You have been living a lie, and I am here to keep reminding you. You are fighting a wrong battle, fighting everyone that is asking for the peaceful dissolution, the peaceful breakup. Let everybody go their separate way and undo their problems, their own choosing ways. You are fighting a wrong battle. Because the people you think love Nigeria, they don't. And they are the people that Nigeria has been so good to. Your politicians have had it all. Those who are dead and those who are alive, Nigeria gave them everything. Some of them older ones you have today. They all attended free education, sponsored scholarship, and all of that to acquire knowledge, only for them to come back to Nigeria and destroy the place because of their greed and selfishness. Nigeria gave them everything. Your criminal politicians, they drive free cars. They live in free houses. They pay themselves the ridiculous amount of money they want to pay themselves as salaries. You do not even have a say in all of that. And yet, the little they said is meant for you, they still won't let that get to you. They ruined a beautiful country, you will say, because Nigeria is a conglomeration of many, many nations, of so many nations. They ruined them by trying to force a wrong identity on all of us. There are those who hold Nigeria. There are those who hold you something. But what did they give you back? They gave you back corruption. They gave you back poverty. They gave you back division. They gave you back hatred. They gave you back religious fanaticism. They gave you back ethnic supremacy. They gave you back tribal jingo and all of that stuff. None of this actually benefits you. None of this benefits any of us. Yorubas, they suffer. Igbos, they suffer. Hausas, they suffer. Fulanis, they suffer. Every tribe, every ethnic nationality, every religion is suffering in that place. It doesn't really spare anyone. Nobody is spared. By the people who were given everything. They were given everything. They are simply being given everything. Right now, they are disloyal. Their doctors are not Nigerians. Not in Nigeria. Their investment is not in Nigeria. Outside the place. Their investment that are in Nigeria, they are conduit pipes that does not add any value, not to that place. You know it. I know it. But we are busy fighting ethnic Olympics, competing in ethnic Olympics, tribal Olympics. Abi? That's why I said I want to talk to you. I want to say that to you so that before you point fingers at those who are not patriotic, a lot of you are also not patriotic because you are defending unpatriotic people, people that Nigeria gave everything to. Nigeria gave these guys everything, or they took everything. That's it. They've got everything. But what do you ask for? You ask them for security, peaceful coexistence, development, education for your children, healthcare for everyone, safe place, safe communities, safe farms, productive society, and a booming economy where everybody contributes. Everyone contributes to a booming economy if those in charge of that economy helps those people to contribute. Nigeria is being run by rogues that want to keep you in perpetuity of poverty. Can't you see it? Can't you see it? So that is why once in a while, you need to ask yourselves, is what this guy saying true or lies? Do you think Nigeria has a future? Do you think your children, if anything happened to you now, do you think Nigeria is a society that will protect your children and their dignity when you are no more? I keep asking people that all the time, but I think not everybody understands that. A place where your life can be snuffed out of you just like that. And it doesn't even spare you to say, are you a Christian? Or are you a Muslim? Or are you a Yoruba? Or are you a Hausa? Are you this or that? When this dark death comes calling, it doesn't even spare any one of us. Are you not seeing it? If they talk about Fulani terrorism, Boko Haram terrorism, a lot of you can easily point fingers and say, over there, not here. But a lot of you don't understand what is called economic terrorism. Have you not noticed how you were so devalued, even though you are not fighting war? So devalued that all it takes for you to lose money in Nigeria is to go and put that your money in your bank. You will watch it lose all its value. The rogues that brought you here, they are pointing fingers at themselves now. It is that one. It is that one. It is this one. You will be say they are victim. You said they help them point fingers. And now, everything is already bad before Tifnumbu. Everything is already bad. Let us be honest. How do you expect Tifnumbu to do it in 10 months? At least if they no go stop you from degenerating to what you have been today. Even if not just that time when Bokwari nearly strangulates some of you will survive now to death. Even if not that state, May 29, 2023, if not that state, Tifnumbu return you to now. I know talk say it better. At least you will prefer that, won't you, right now? Let me remind you, just in case, since you love to help them point fingers, it's not their fault. Things are already bad. We should all know that we need sacrifice. Kanayo. Iwoma sacrifice. Are you with me? They will continue to loot whatever is left to buy themselves properties all over the place while you are there doing sacrifices and sacrifices. In 10 months, Tifnumbu has borrowed over $8 billion. Oya Kosile. Sometimes Stockholm syndrome is something that we might need an extra spiritual consultation to cure. Because I've been working on it for the past 12 years, and it doesn't seem to be working too well because Stockholm syndrome still exists and it's even getting even worse. Okay, so Tifnumbu's criminal government has borrowed, so far so good, $8.2 billion. Kosile, are you with me? Tifnumbu's government, criminal government or illegitimate government, has claimed, by the way, that they have shared over 33 trillion naira in the last 10 months, okay? So Tifnumbu's criminal government that is currently probing Emefiole and Bokwari for printing 27.5 trillion naira and shared the money, stole it, right? The same Tifnumbu's government has already printed over 7 trillion naira. Kosile, 7 trillion naira. That is in your economy already, by the way, and nobody can really trace that. God knows how much of that naira paper is in your economy right now, okay? However, the same, the same Tifnumbu's criminal criminal who came back to say, there's been no money or what have you, right? So let's go back to that May 29, 2023, so that you can remember where you were before where you are now. Just for the record, okay? So in that your May 29, I still remember, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not mistaken, by the way, a liter of petroleum around that shito was put at around 169 naira per liter. Abi? So today, a liter of petroleum is between 690 naira to 1 liter, between 690 naira to 780 naira per liter. Okay. So in May 2023, right, when this criminally legitimate Kolu came in, by the way, a bag of rice was sold for 30,000, between 30,000 and 32,000 naira. So today under Kolu is between 70,000 and 85,000 naira per bag, by the way. So, and also, mind you, a dollar at the time was put at, officially, they said officially, a dollar was a 610 naira to $1. So, and then Kolu came in 10 months, a dollar turned to 1,800 naira, nearly 2,000 naira to a dollar at some point. Sean Kosile. No. Okay, I am writing the Kosile, by the way, right? So the same Kolu, before Kolu, they said that Nigeria was generating between 6,000 and 7,000 megawatt of electricity, and distributing between 3,000 and 3,500 megawatt of electricity. Under Kolu, that has collapsed. Meanwhile, National Grid collapsed under Bokwari 104 times in 8 years. That's how many times the National Grid of Nigeria collapsed in 8 years, okay? So under Tifnumbu, National Grid has collapsed for 22 times already, by the way, all right? So, which means that not only that the generation has dropped under Tifnumbu, from 6,000 to 7,000, it has now dropped down to less than 4,000 megawatt of electricity generated. You ask me about the distributed. That one too has dropped to half. So it has, at some point, it actually dropped to zero. Do you understand what I mean? So right now, the Nigeria is distributing between 1,500 megawatt electricity and 1,800, less than 2,000 megawatt electricity is what Nigeria is distributing to industries, homes, and all these schools, hospitals in Nigeria. Then you have the picture, Abi, under these rogues. Nigeria has depreciated, right, by more than 50% just in 10 months. But since they said you should be Kanayo, as Kanayo, you can continue to sacrifice. But I will continue to remind you that the same people who told you to sacrifice when Bokwari came to power, when Bokwari came to power, they said, Goodluck Jonathan has destroyed Nigeria totally. Thank God, say Bokwari came. Nigeria Naira to dollar in 2015 was officially was officially 145 naira in 2015. Black market of Nigeria Naira at the time was put at between 199 naira and 205 naira to a dollar. And within 8 years of Bokwari, Nigeria Naira jumped from official 145 to official 610 naira. Nigeria crude oil production before Bokwari, APC, Egbekegbe, was put at 1.8 million barrels a day, while Nigeria was losing 50,000 barrels to oil thieves. Immediately Bokwari came in, Nigeria's oil production dropped by half to 900,000 barrels a day, while the crude oil Nigeria was losing to the thieves increased by more than 600%. In fact, more than 700% to 700,000 barrels. Okay, that Nigeria started losing to oil thieves. So Nigeria lost so much money to the point that Nigerians no longer even had a clue how much Nigeria was making from crude oil for 8 years. You see, from 1960 to 2015, the Central Bank of Nigeria printed in total 921 billion naira in total. as money they printed between 1960 and 2015. This money is called ways and means. The money that the central bank always prints to borrow the federal government if they're having deficits. Now, let me explain that to you, how they brought you to this ruin, okay? So normally, the government of Nigeria has no real business. Just take money. They call it taxes, and they can name it anything. Royalty, taxes, whatever. That's where they make their money. Now, that is why the government has a plan, and they call their plan budget. So when government budgets, they budget based on what they have or what they expect to have in order to provide whatever they want to provide in the country. So where there was a deficit means what the government wants to do around that time, and the money